Hi, this is a review of an Aussie CAD buy I took yesterday. So the logic I saw was I see the sellers have broken down from this area after consolidating on the hourly, and I was looking at the markets around here when the buyers had stopped the sellers move down, and the price had started basing and starting to go up, and I suspected that over here probably buyers were putting their positions. So I went down to the 15 minutes and I saw this kind of structure where I read it as okay, so pushed it down, buyers build up position and make a very strong move up, test of that breakout area of these smaller positions building of the buyers, and then buyers push up again, and the resistance over here, it's getting weaker because over here when it reacted, it did not make a lower low. It in fact respected the buyer's breakout zone, and then over here again made a higher low. And when I looked at the market, the price was just around there, and I suspected the breakout was going to happen, so I took the trade there with a wide stop loss and also 75% of my risk, of my usual risk, because I was still a little bit cautious about doing a smaller stop loss in case price was going to come down. And for my entry I actually did check one time frame lower. I just go left. Oh, there we go. So I saw a small period of hold above this zone that it's just broken out, and that is what convinced me to hit the trade there. And now for this trade I was targeting the 1 hourly congestion zone by the sellers over there as my final maximum target. I did not want to aim for anything higher. Now this area over here, I was aware of this zone right of the sellers. The sellers have just consolidated on the 15 minutes and broken down, but I did not think this would be a huge problem for this breakout move up as it was going up, because although the 15-minute sellers have consolidated over there, they have come and they've done another round of consolidation. The sellers have broken down around here. The volumes were increasing, so there was a decrease in volumes there, showing some sort of absorption of the sellers' liquidity, and then volumes were starting to increase, accompanied with strong buyer moves. So that's why I was confident that this is probably a breakout happening, at least of this zone over here, and that price would go up. So that's the reason I was confident of this being a genuine breakout up rather than a fake out down, because a fake out would not have made sense with the story that I am seeing over here. So once the breakout was confirmed and the price shot up with that candle, I moved my stop loss down here, over here, just below this swing, and I went to sleep and closed my position just before I went to sleep, because around this time I knew that from the correlations point of view, I was trading CAD weakness, and Aussie was still a little bit weak. It had not become strong yet, but around here things started to change a little bit, and Aussie had started to become a little bit strong. It was doing its Aussie strength was that swing was hitting in the markets on the 15 minutes at least, and CAD was getting a small pullback. That is, CAD strength was also coming in a little bit, so there was no both currencies aligning during this trade. But I expect the CAD weakness to persist, and Aussie strength I think is a temporary thing. But due to those reasons, I thought at least I have one side favoring the trade and the other is a little bit neutral or about to do its reversal, and that combined with the overall price action story is why I took the trade and was confident with taking the trade. So I got out once I saw this strong candle come down over here. I knew it was a low. I did a hedge sell over there. I didn't completely get out. I completely hedged my position. And the reason I do this instead of getting out and getting back in is I think for me, it's psychologically a little bit more difficult to get out and then get back in very soon, where it's a little bit easier for me to do a hedge sell, so still keep my original position and do a hedge trade to counter my original position, and remove the hedge trade when I think I want to get out completely. So now I can remove the hedge trade ways. I can remove it in one way to completely offset my original position, and that will not cost me double commission or anything. It will just be cancelling out of the original position. Or I can remove it when I think this at the area where I really should be re-entering the trade. So there I would be charged commission on that extra trade. But that's the trade management style I sometimes use. I think it's helpful for me. So I got out over there because I was not feeling so confident about this, given that even then both currencies were not in true alignment, and I was nearing, in 1 hour or so, I would be near the dead hours of the market, around over here, the dead hours of the market. I was nearing that, so I did not want to hold it throughout that period, especially at a time when both currencies were not in true alignment with the trade. So I got out, and of course I had in mind the possibility that sellers could be reacting from around here. So so I thought it's not exactly a bad place for me to get out, even though objectively I thought it could get higher, and indeed it did. I thought it was a reasonable, practical decision to get out over there. So overall, what's happening now, I see is, I've not looked at the correlations yet, but I see that from the price action only, I see sellers have come down, but the breakout zone over here is holding yet on the 15 minutes. It looks like the buy is building up their positions over here. I give this a bit more priority than the action over here, because even though the sellers look like they're coming down over here, the congestion over here where sellers were putting their position is noticeably smaller than the congestion over here where buyers were putting their position. So I expect this is probably going to turn into some sort of range, or maybe this will still make a higher low, but I'm still a little bit optimistic on this. But if I look at it from this perspective, I understand that price may be doing an hourly range build up before going up. Now, the reason I am overall a little bit bullish on this is I am anticipating some sort of move up, as this is quite an extended trend, but my overall bias on this is still for a sell. So this was just a counter trend trade from the higher time frames perspective, but it was an in-trend trade on this lower time frame perspective. Okay, so that's all. Thanks, and comments and questions are very much welcome.